It was a quiet town, a place where nothing ever happened until it did. One cold morning, a 17-year-old boy walked into his high school and unleashed a nightmare. What no one saw coming was that the boy they ignored, the boy they laughed at, the boy they dismissed, would soon become a name that echoed across every headline in America. This is the story of what drove a quiet teen to become a mass murderer. Police body cam footage, screaming students, parents gathered outside, news anchors scrambling for details. We meet Detective Sarah Holt, 20 years on the force, standing frozen at the scene. And Maya Reyes, a journalist covering local crime, staring at the building in shock. The suspect's name is announced: Eli Turner, age 17, quiet, polite, average grades, no criminal record. Neighbors call him invisible. Teachers call him shy but smart. Maya whispers into her recorder, "Why, Eli? Why you?" Detective Holt searches Eli's room. Walls bare, desk neat, laptop encrypted. But under the bed, a notebook filled with angry rants, a map of the school, and an ominous phrase, "They'll remember me." Eli's parents, Mark and Diane Turner, sit in disbelief. Mark sobs, "I swear we didn't know." Diane trembles, "He was just quiet." But Detective Holt notices bruises on Mark's knuckles. Maya digs into Eli's online life. Hidden behind screen names Eli posted on dark forums, chats about hate, alienation, violence fantasies. The smiling boy from family photos was someone else online. We meet Tyler, Eli's childhood friend. They drifted apart in middle school. Tyler remembers, "He got weird after his dad started drinking." But no one saw this coming. A group of classmates snicker when Maya approaches. They admit they tormented Eli. "Yeah, we messed with him, but it was just jokes." One girl lowers her voice. "He looked at me one day like he hated me." Police recover school surveillance footage. Eli walking halls alone, ignored in group projects. Lunch alone, eyes down. Detective Holt whispers, "We all walked past him." A breakthrough, Eli's decrypted laptop. Entries read aloud, "I am invisible. To them, I don't exist. But soon, I'll be all they see." Flashback interviews, kindergarten teacher, sweet, quiet, artistic, grandmother. His dad was hard on him. Childhood babysitter. He craved attention, poor thing. At age 13, Eli's dog died. Parents too busy to notice his grief. He stopped drawing, stopped laughing. School files reveal Eli was suspended twice. Once for bringing a knife to school. Once for threatening a student online. No one followed up. Dr. Patel, Eli's childhood therapist. "I tried to warn them. He needed help. They pulled him out of therapy after 6 sessions." Eli's younger sister, Emily, confesses, "He told me sometimes he wanted everyone to go away. I thought he was just being dramatic." Surveillance from the morning of the attack. Eli walks in calmly, smiles at the receptionist. A classmate later says, "He looked peaceful." The night before the massacre, Eli posted one last message. "Tomorrow, I get to decide who matters." Mr. Jensen, Eli's English teacher, speaks to Maya. "He wrote dark stories. We reported it to the counselor. Nothing happened." The detective and journalist compare notes. The school missed it. The parents missed it. The system missed it. Maya, "We all failed him, and we all failed them." Eli's online chats reveal a chilling figure, an older man who radicalized vulnerable teens. He fed Eli's rage, telling him, "You were born for greatness through chaos." Security camera footage from abandoned warehouses. Eli practicing alone in the dark. Eli's notebook contains a hit list. Most are bullies, but some are random. Detective Holt. "He wanted to hurt the world, not just his tormentors." Diane's shaky voice. "He always came down for dinner. He hugged me goodnight. How could I know?" Emily whispers, "I heard noises in his room. I heard him crying. I was too scared to knock." School records show overcrowded counselors. No follow-ups. No intervention. News clips flood the screen. Speculation. Blame. Politicians. Maya records. We turn them into monsters without asking why they broke. Detective Holt lies awake, haunted by the missed clues. She replays every choice, every sign ignored. Maya faces backlash for humanizing Eli. He was a monster, people tell her. But Maya replies, he was a human who became a monster. Candlelight. Photos of the victims. A community mourning, divided between rage and grief. Mark breaks down in an interview. I failed my son. I failed them all. And I can never make it right. Detective Holt uncovers unsent apology letters from Eli to his classmates. A chilling glimpse of his torn mind. Toxicology clear. No drugs, no alcohol. Just a boy spiraling inside his own head. Among Eli's childhood things, a drawing of his family, unfinished. A hole where his own face should be. Eli's final text to Emily. I'm sorry for everything. Detective Holt and Maya clash over blame. Holt, some people are just broken. Maya, or maybe we break them. Parents demand stricter laws. Teachers demand more resources. Teenagers mourn someone they didn't understand. A tragedy decades in the making. A boy crushed by neglect, fueled by rage, and consumed by the silence around him. Eli Turner was a symptom. We are the disease. Until we change, we will mourn again. Eli's room, untouched. His childhood toys, a half-empty closet. Silence. Photos, names, dreams lost. Maya. They deserve to be remembered not for how they died, but for how they lived. What drove a quiet teen to become a mass murderer? Maybe it wasn't one thing. Maybe it was all of us. Detective Holt returns to the crime scene, uneasy. A final sweep uncovers a hidden hard drive in Eli's locker. Forensic teams crack it open. Inside are video diaries Eli recorded over the past year. He speaks directly to the camera. If you're watching this, I guess you know what I did. The team watches, transfixed. Eli confesses his loneliness, his humiliation, his growing fury. Every laugh I hear behind me feels like a knife. He breaks down crying in one video, and in another, his eyes go cold. Detective Holt whispers, we could have saved him here. Maya uncovers a school counselor report from months earlier. Eli had been flagged for suicidal ideation, but no one followed up. The counselor resigned soon after over burnout. Maya's notebook trembles in her hands as she writes, how many cracks did he fall through? Phone records reveal Eli called a crisis hotline hours before the attack. A 17-minute call. The operator later tells Maya, voice breaking. He hung up before I could get his name. In Eli's drafts folder, an email titled, I'm sorry, addressed to the principal, to his parents, to his sister. Never sent. Detective Holt stares at the screen, fists clenched. At a town hall, grief turns to fury. Parents blame the school. The school blames the parents. The mayor blames social media. Maya stands at the back, notebook in hand, thinking, blame will not bring them back. Maya interviews Dr. Patel again. The psychologist breaks down. He was a classic case. Isolation, rage, a desperate cry for help. And still, we missed him. We always miss them. Diane Turner tries to visit the memorial. A crowd stares. Whispers ripple. Someone shouts, it's her fault. She collapses to the ground, sobbing as Emily tries to shield her. Detective Holt watches from afar, jaw clenched, eyes wet. Alone in her apartment, Maya plays back Eli's old videos. Her own voice on the news, calling him a monster. She whispers, I failed him too. She reopens her draft article, hands shaking. Maya's voiceover, over shots of the town healing, the school reopening, and families grieving. What drives a quiet teen to mass murder? Neglect, pain, revenge, or the unbearable weight of being unseen? We cannot change what Eli did, but maybe, just maybe, we can change what we do next. Emily confesses to Maya in a hushed voice. She knew Eli was struggling. She saw the drawings, the dark notes, but he made her promise never to tell. He said if I told anyone, I'd lose him forever. Emily sobs into her hands. I didn't know I'd lose him anyway. Detective Holt's cyber team uncovers Eli's online life. On an anonymous forum, he wrote posts under the name Ghostboy17. They read like cries for help, and sometimes like blueprints for rage. One chilling message. Tomorrow they'll finally see me. Maya tracks down Mr. Alvarez, Eli's old art teacher. He retired just months before the shooting. He was brilliant, lost but brilliant. I tried to reach him, but when I left, he stopped coming to class. The system swallowed another lifeline. Survivor interview. Jake Miller, football star, shot twice but lived. He looked right at me, and then walked away. Jake's voice cracks. I don't know why he spared me. Eli's father, Mark Turner, gives his first statement. I was working 2 jobs. I didn't see it. God help me. I didn't see it. The public tears him apart. But Maya's eyes soften. Was he blind? Or was he just surviving? Holt pins a map to the wall. Dots mark school shootings across the country. Eli's case fits the pattern, but also breaks it. Why didn't anyone report his warning signs? Holt murmurs. We were looking at the wrong profile. As Maya's articles go viral, networks descend on the town. Headlines scream, "Monster next door." Locals lash out. Memorials are trampled under camera crews. Maya wonders, are we telling his story or exploiting it? A classmate hands Holt a battered notebook Eli left behind. Inside, names, dates, slights, betrayals. The so-called burn book. Some pages are scratched out, others circled in red. Holt feels a chill as he reads his own name. Holt visits Mrs. Kavanaugh, whose husband died shielding students. Her grief has turned to icy resolve. You can profile him all you want, but if we don't change the laws, there will be another Eli, and another. At the town's final vigil, Maya stands with her recorder off. Emily clutches her mother's hand. Holt lingers at the edge, watching the candles flicker. A hush falls as the mayor steps up. We failed our children. We have to do better. Maya closes her notebook and whispers, maybe this is the real ending. A letter arrives at the police station, no return address. Inside, just one sentence. I warned you about Eli, and you did nothing. Detective Holt stares at the words, heart pounding. Who sent it, and what did they know? Principal Barnes agrees to meet Maya privately. He admits to burying disciplinary records. We didn't want the school labeled at risk. We thought we were protecting our reputation. Maya's pen trembles as she writes. And instead, they buried the truth. Eli's childhood best friend, Jonah, finally speaks. We drifted apart. When I saw him change, I told myself it wasn't my problem. Tears run down his face. I'll never forgive myself for walking away. Maya gains access to Eli's old therapy records. One chilling note jumps out. Patient expresses intense resentment toward peers, fantasies of power, and a need to be remembered. But no follow-up was ever scheduled. Analysts map Eli's online activity. In the weeks before the attack, his posts grew darker, angrier, and yet none of his followers raised alarms. Maya records in her notebook. A digital audience watched him unravel and did nothing. Detective Holt traces the weapon, purchased legally days before the attack by Eli's older cousin. He said it was for target practice. The cousin tells police, hands shaking. The paperwork cleared in under an hour. Divisions deepen in the community. One side demands stricter gun laws. Another blames mental health services. Families stop speaking. Churches hold rival vigils. Maya writes, in the rubble of one tragedy, they're building another. Ms. Ramirez, Eli's English teacher, hasn't slept since that day. I read his essays. I saw the storm in his words. But I never imagined. Her voice breaks. I can't step back into that classroom. While cleaning out Eli's bedroom, Emily finds a small locked box. Inside, photos, old friendship bracelets, childhood drawings. At the bottom, a note. I was happy once. Emily sinks to the floor, clutching the box to her chest, sobbing. Maya's final report airs. Voice trembling, she says, "This isn't just a story of one boy's descent into darkness. It's a story of silence, of missed chances, and of the people left to pick up the pieces." As the camera pans over the darkened town, Maya whispers, "The question now is not why Eli fell, but how we keep the next one from following." Maya learns Eli had an estranged older brother, Nathan. She finds him in a rundown apartment on the edge of town. Nathan says quietly, "I left because I saw the storm coming, but I never thought it would hit this hard." He stares out the window, fists clenched. "I should have stayed." Under mounting public pressure, Principal Barnes steps down. At the press conference, his voice trembles. "I take responsibility for what I missed, but no one man failed this boy, we all did." The crowd is silent, until someone yells, "It's too late." A sharp-suited lawyer enters the scene, representing victims' families in a civil lawsuit against the school. He promises justice, but behind closed doors, Maya hears whispers of money, settlements, and reputations being scrubbed clean. She writes, "Justice is becoming a commodity." Eli's Aunt Sarah invites Maya over. In the quiet of her home, she pulls out old photos, a smiling Eli on his bike, a boy beaming on Christmas morning. Asterisk, "He wasn't a monster," Sarah whispers. "He was a little boy once. Don't let them erase that." Officer Daniels, first on the scene, hasn't returned to duty. He sits with Maya, eyes hollow. "I see him every night. That face. When he saw me, it was like he wanted me to stop him. But I was too late." His voice cracks. "I was too damn late." At a heated meeting, the school board debates metal detectors, armed guards, lockdown drills. Parents weep. Teachers plead for mental health funding. The board votes unanimously for security upgrades. Maya's pen stops. Another wall, another camera, but will it stop the next Eli? Detective Holt's team tracks Eli's last days online. They discover he was groomed into a dark chat room, where anger was fed, sharpened, weaponized. Holt mutters, "He didn't plan this alone. We need to hunt the ones whispering in his ear." A mural goes up downtown, portraits of the victims, not Eli. But one morning, someone scrawls across the wall, "You forgot him." The town is shaken, divided. Do they erase Eli from memory or confront his story head-on? At a candlelight vigil, Emily stands on shaky legs. Her voice trembles as she says, "Eli was my brother. I loved him, but he hurt so many. I will spend my life trying to make sure no one else feels as lost as he did." The crowd is hushed. A single sob breaks the silence. Maya's final piece airs across the nation. Her voiceover carries over shots of a town forever changed. This is not a story about a monster. It's about a boy who fell through the cracks, a community that looked away, and a society still searching for answers. She pauses. If we only mourn but do not change, then we are all complicit in the next tragedy. Detective Holt brings in a cybercrime expert. Within hours, the hacker uncovers encrypted messages on Eli's old laptop. The messages aren't just dark, they're instructional. Someone was coaching Eli, pushing him toward the massacre. The investigation zeroes in on a username, Reaper77. Traced across forums, gaming servers, and private chat rooms, Reaper77 emerges as a twisted mentor figure. Maya whispers to Holt, "Eli wasn't just broken. He was groomed." Interpol joins the case. They reveal Reaper77 has ties to mass violence in 3 countries. Holt stares at the screen, realizing this isn't just a local tragedy. It's part of a global network of radicalization. Eli's mother, Caroline, who spent weeks in seclusion, steps forward publicly. Tearfully, she pleads, "Find the one who poisoned my son. I couldn't save him, but maybe I can help save someone else's child." Emily remembers late-night phone calls Eli used to take. They trace the burner phone and discover direct contact between Eli and Reaper77, right up until the night before the attack. Undercover agents move in. They bait Reaper 77 with a fake profile, posing as a new recruit desperate for attention. The hook is set. Now they wait. A sting operation unfolds. In a tense midnight raid across state lines, authorities arrest Reaper 77, an unassuming man in his 30s, with no criminal record, but a hard drive filled with blueprints of destruction. News of the arrest ripples through the town. For the first time since the massacre, there's a glimmer of relief and a surge of fury. They thought Eli acted alone. Now they know. Someone else was pulling the strings. The trial of Reaper 77 is a media storm. Maya reports daily from the courthouse. Victims' families testify. So does Emily. In the gallery, Eli's mother weeps as the full horror unfolds. Reaper 77's defense, that he was just a voice online, not responsible for actions, collapses under a mountain of evidence. The jury watches video chats, read messages, and sees him laughing as Eli prepared. After days of deliberation, the jury returns, guilty, on all counts. The courtroom erupts, some in tears, some in applause. Maya's voiceover, justice at last, but at a cost no one will ever forget. Caroline steps to the microphones outside. My son was lost, but he wasn't born to kill. Someone taught him to hate. Today, that man will never poison another mind. The crowd falls silent. Emily visits the victim's memorial. For the first time, she feels a measure of peace. I will carry both grief and love, she whispers, but I will not carry his guilt. Maya closes her notebook for the last time. In her closing monologue, she says, "We will never understand every why, but we can honor the lost, hold the guilty accountable, and refuse to look away again." She wipes a tear from her eye. The final scene, the courtroom empty, the town square quiet, families rebuilding shattered lives. A plaque goes up in the school, not just naming the victims, but inscribed with the words, "We remember, we change, we heal." As Maya walks away, she leaves the audience with one final thought. Justice is not the end of the story, it's the start of never forgetting. Stay tuned for more chilling cases on Cold Case Chronicles, where the truth is always darker than fiction. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to Cold Case Chronicles. We dive deeper into the most chilling, unsolved mysteries, and together, we uncover what was left behind. Like, share, and leave a comment below. We want to hear your thoughts. Stay vigilant. Stay curious. The truth never rests.